So what does a mafia-style quit smoking plan, a jaunt on a ledge or on the top floor of a high-rise building, and a breath-stealing troll have in common? Anybody? I'm talking about the movie Cat's Eye, an anthology movie based around 3 stories written by Stephen King, the same concept as the film Creepshow. It includes the stories of Quitters Incorporated and The Ledge, from King's book Night Shift, and The General, which was written especially for this movie. And the film follows this cat who is venturing to Wilmington, North Carolina to save a little girl from an evil troll, but along the way he gets intertwined in some sticky situations. This movie and The Shining, yes, both versions, are what got me into Stephen King in the first place, thanks to my friend John, who also showed me The Exorcist. And these films are probably the reason I developed any sort of appreciation for the horror genre, because I'm mostly a comedy guy. And if you've never seen it, I should warn you, this video is all spoilers from here on out. The cat finds himself in New York City, where he is captured by a man working for a company called Quitters Incorporated, and he is brought to their establishment. Meanwhile, Dick Morrison, played by James Woods, is right outside with his friend, who is referring him to enroll in their quit smoking program. Morrison grudgingly goes inside and finds himself trapped in a program that threatens the safety of his wife and daughter if he ever lights up another cigarette. Imagine if The Sopranos had ran a quit smoking program. Well, here it is. Alan King plays Dr. Vinnie Donati, the head of the program. He locks Morrison in his office and shows him a room where he's keeping the cat hostage like some horrible lab experiment. The floor is a metal grate that is electrically charged, and Donati shocks the poor cat trapped in the room, a demonstration for Morrison, showing him a small sample of what his wife and daughter have in store for them if he ever smokes again. He would be under 24-hour surveillance for the first month of treatment. Now, if he slips, the first offense is his wife gets thrown into the cat room. Second offense, his mentally disabled daughter gets thrown into the cat room. And the third offense...
I'm afraid I have to send someone out to rape your wife.
And that punishment was not in the original story, although the fourth offense remains the same.
Then we give up, Mr. Morrison.
According to the book, he'll be under either random or constant surveillance for the rest of his life. Morrison finds himself not sleeping, paranoid in his own house, even discovering that Donati's men have found their way into his home in the middle of the night to keep an eye on him. He's almost caught lighting up a cigarette by someone hiding in his closet, and the next day he's visiting his daughter Alicia, played by Drew Barrymore, and the man can't even go visit his daughter without being stalked. And it is Mr. Donati himself who followed him to his daughter's school, information that Morrison refused to give him at the start. And after 2 weeks under the threat of the freaking mafia, Morrison starts to go a little crazy, and you can see that during a big social gathering they're holding at their house. Apparently everybody in this cinematic universe is a damn smoker, and this is the most weird, over-the-top part of this story. Morrison, his first name's Dick. You know, if I say that too much, I might get censored. What the Horse Huckers! Finally grew back. Anyway, poor Dick can't catch a break. He's surrounded by temptation and is driven mad by James Rebhorn. I'm not sure. To the point of hallucinations. The painting on the wall is watching him. The food tray is watching. Even Donati himself is watching him. Okay, what the hell am I looking at? What is he wearing? Is he really there or just another hallucination? I mean, what the... Hey! Asshole. Okay. Next, we see Dick waiting in New York traffic at a bridge. He finds a leftover pack in his glove box. Thinking he can get away with it, he lights up. But just like Donati promised, he is being watched. And again, just as promised, his wife is captured and put into the electric room, which starts a fight in the office, leading to the cat's escape aboard the Staten Island ferry. He's a quick little bugger. I'll save the very ending for those who haven't seen it. However, I'm gonna go out on a ledge here and say that The Ledge is my favorite story. The kitty cat finds himself in Atlantic City and gets in a sticky situation amongst heavy traffic. A man named Kressner, played by Kenneth McMillan, spots the cat outside of the casino and places a wager for $2,000 that the cat will make it across the street alive and unharmed. The cat makes a run for it, and after a heavy pile-up, he makes it across to safety, where Kressner picks him up and takes him home. Meanwhile, tennis pro Johnny Norris, played by Robert Hayes, has been having an affair with Kressner's wife, and he gets her onto a bus while he stays behind until the next morning to empty his bank accounts. But Kressner has him followed by Mental, the gas man from Dumb and Dumber, and abducts him on the spot and brings him to Kressner's high-rise penthouse apartment. Kressner has set up Norris. He had his goons plant drugs in his car, and if he calls the authorities, he'll be sent to prison, unless he accepts the wager he's proposing, survives shuffling the 5-inch ledge all the way around the building, and he gets $20,000 and gets to stay with his wife.
You Welsh on your bets?
I've never Welched on a bet in my life.
John accepts the challenge. Honestly, what choice does he have? I've seen this film a lot over the years, and despite knowing how it plays out, it still makes my stomach tie up in knots every time I see it. Even knowing the set was suspended over miniatures about 10 feet off the ground, it's super effective and suspenseful as this guy maneuvers around the building. But it's not without its flaws. If you look closely, you can tell that the cars are actually miniatures attached to moving belts. But in one shot, one of the belts stops working. Oops. To me, it adds to the charm. This is a film that only had a budget of $6 or $7 million, and I love films that can pull off simple effects so effectively, much like the first Terminator movie. Even if they are flawed, he carefully maneuvers the building through the weird angles and obstacles. But as if that wasn't enough, Kressner toys with him the whole time, flinging his douche robe at him, honking bicycle horns in his face from a window, even opening up a fire hose on him. Well, finally he makes it around and wins the bet, although not without any turbulence. A fight breaks out and the cat escapes. But again, for those who haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil the entire ending, but I will say, it'll keep you on your toes.
Just keeping you on your toes!
Finally, the cat ends up in Wilmington, North Carolina. We see a point-of-view shot of a little creature stalking a little girl, Amanda, also played by Drew Barrymore. And this is the creature the cat has been looking for. The cat races after the creature and into the house, and Amanda spots the cat and excitedly chases after him. Her mother firmly protests the idea of keeping him because he might go after Polly, the parakeet, so she insists he stays outside. The mother, Sally, played by Candy Clark, does a great job at playing a bitch. So much that I have not been able to like her in any other roles, and it's the same thing with Brian Denny from the first Rambo movie. Great actors, but maybe they played their parts too well? Later on in the film, Amanda is telling Hugh, her dad, about how she's been having bad dreams of a creature who lives in her wall, and if it comes out, it crawls onto her chest and steals her breath, choking her. She explains that the cat, whom she named General, has been keeping her bad dreams away, and her dad promises to talk to her mom about letting him stay in at night. And then later that night, the nasty creature, a troll who comes out of the wall, first thing he does is kill Polly, and then proceeds to climb up to Amanda and sit on her chest. Look at how he looks at her. Listen to the sounds he's making. Okay, whoa, dude, are you trying to murder this girl? Or are you just creeping on her while she's sleeping and getting aroused? God, you fucking little shit. Hey! Good one. I still don't get how that works. Finally, General comes charging through the window and the two fight, knocking over the birdcage. Amanda wakes up from the chaos as the troll bolts back into the wall, and she screams out that Polly is dead, and her mother blames General. And her fantastic motherly instinct isn't there to console her daughter about the loss of her pet, but rather rant and rave about how right she is. Okay, I'm not going to go on another soapbox like I did with Ray from Judgment Night. I'm not going to do it. Nope. Bitch. The next day, she waits for her husband to go to work. She tricks him with food in a box, traps him, completely manhandles the poor thing, and brings him to the pound for termination. And the next night, the pervert troll makes another attempt. He blocks the door shut and slithers back to his prey. General, being the pimpin' status boss-ass troll slayer that he is, bolts out of his kennel at feeding time and races back to the house in a full-on rainstorm. Yeah! Get him! The troll begins to steal Amanda's breath, choking her. But then General comes charging down the chimney and out of the fireplace and takes charge. Amanda starts screaming once she catches her breath, and her parents wake up and try bursting down the door. General's really pissed off now. Finally, the troll gets flung into the fan and turned into hamburger meat. Oh yeah, is anybody up for troll burgers? Both mom and dad come bursting through the door finally and are completely shell-shocked, examining the aftermath of the troll in the fan. They tell Amanda not to tell anybody about this, but cunning Amanda blackmails them and says that she will only keep quiet if she can keep General. Oh yeah, who's eating like a king now? As a whole, this movie's a pretty solid ride all the way through. For me, Quitters Incorporated and The Ledge are neck and neck, but I would say The Ledge takes the lead just a little bit for me. I mean, Quitters Inc. is very twisted and dark, with a little bit of a comedic twist. But The Ledge, however, no matter how many times I see it, just has me white-knuckling my chair every single time I watch it. And that's why it takes the lead for me. The General's a pretty solid entry as well, taking on a very comedic light, but yet a haunting fairy tale-like approach. Director Louis Teague describes on the commentary track on the Blu-ray that there is a prologue that's supposed to start this movie off. Further connects the cat to the rest of the stories, and it's all leading up to this one. But it was deemed a little too crazy, a little too over the top, so they got rid of it. And while the story is rock solid, the other two are a little bit more plausible in real life. Like someone could terrorize somebody else in order to get them to stop smoking, and someone could give another an ultimatum of, say, walk this ledge on this high rise or go to prison. But I don't think there are any breath-stealing trolls in the world. I'm not saying The General's a bad story. I thoroughly enjoy it, but going from plausible for 2/3 of the film and then in the last act it goes to a fairy tale, it's just a little jarring to me. Again, if you're a Stephen King fan or a fan of things like The Twilight Zone or Tales from the Crypt, you're really going to enjoy this one. And for fans of the film, well, I hope I did it justice here because hell yeah. Alright, that's a wrap. If you like this, please consider subscribing and I'll see you later.